What a result. What a second half performance from Chelsea. Welcome back to the Two Blues podcast and to another live match reaction. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is a live episode. Get involved in the conversation below. Let us know who your man of the match was. Who were your standout performers today? And if it wasn't Captain Fantastic Reece James, tell me why not. I mean, look, I could hear arguments for Pedro Neto, Josh Achimpong, I thought were superb today. Mark Yu, I thought put in an excellent shift in the second half. But Reece James, El Capitan, on his 200th game for Chelsea. 200th Premier League game, might be. I feel like he's played more than that. Anyway, whatever it was, milestone for Reece James, and he capped it off with a goal. An excellent performance. He has been a standout performer this season for Chelsea. And I'm very, very happy that it's turned out how it has today, because my short was going to be on Reece James this weekend anyway. This guy has just proven that he is the best right back in the world on his day. There is not a single player in the world that can talk to Reece James. We were having to entertain conversations with Alexander-Arnold last year. This year, Arsenal fans are getting too big for their boots and putting Yuri and Timber in the conversation. Reece James will outlast and outperform all of them every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. This is England's best right back. He will be going to the World Cup next season. I do not care if he doesn't play a single minute in the international friendlies and the qualifiers under Thomas Tuchel. This is England's best option. This is the best right back in the Premier League. And you know what? If he keeps putting in performances like he did today, like he did against Liverpool, like he did against Crystal Palace first game of the season, Josh Achimpong, talk to me. Thomas Tuchel, you've got to be watching this. He has got to be in the conversation. If Harrison Murray-Campbell is training with the first team in international breaks, Josh Achimpong cannot be far off. He plays for the England under-21s. But as we've seen for the Chelsea Academy, he's too good to be playing at that age group. The way that this guy is just so cool, calm, composed at 19 years of age, he is so good on the ball. He is excellent off it. I was talking earlier in a live match watch-along about how the centre midfield position has become so compartmentalised. You get specialists at being a holding midfielder, being a creative player, at doing a box. There's so many different roles you can fill. As a centre-back, it's exactly the same. You can have a sweeper. You can have someone who's better sitting back. You can have someone who's more aggressive. You can have players that are excellent on the ball, but not great defenders one-on-one. Josh Achimpong has it all. Physical ability, technical ability on the ball. He's incredibly strong. He's good in the air, as he showed today with his goal. This is a centre-back that I've been saying for a while should be the short-term solution for Levi Colwill. If we weren't going to go out and get a centre-back in the summer, Josh Achimpong is primed and ready to go. This is why I've been calling for him this is why I've been so hot on Josh Achimpong for so long. People are starting to see, people are starting to realise the quality that this guy brings to the table week in, week out. He's now done it not only against Jean-Philippe Mateta and against Alexander Isak, pocketing two great strikers. He has now marshalled that defence today. He was the best centre-back out of him and Chalobah. Of the mistakes that we were making in the first half, Josh Achimpong was probably the least, the least culprit you could point the finger to. I think he needs his flowers today. Immediately, from all the Chelsea fans that have been saying, we need to go out and spend heavy. We need a new centre-back. No, we don't. This guy was always better than Badiashile. This guy was always better than Wes Fofana. This guy, maybe just short-term, but this guy, I'm telling you, is the answer. And rounding out the trio of top performers today, Pedro Neto. I said there is not a better right-back in the world than Reece James. There's not a better fullback in the Premier League. There's not a better crosser of the ball in the Premier League than Pedro Neto. How the hell does some Chelsea fans not rate this guy? Not only is his work rate is phenomenal. He is one of the best hustlers off the ball. I think you saw the impact that Mark Yu had today. when he came on in the second half, harrowing the defenders, making those runs, making a nuisance, just causing problems, putting players under pressure. And that's what Pedro Neto does. His work rate is sublime, always happy to track back, always putting pressure on the defenders. But then on the ball, he can put the ball on a sixpence. He can put the ball on a dime. This is an incredible winger. He's excellent when he's facing his man up 1v1. He can go either way. That obviously helps. The fact that he can put the ball into the box on either foot. It can be low. It can be chipped. It can be driven. It can be whipped. It can be... But there is not a single cross that this guy can't pull off. He could put the ball on a sixpence every single time. I think his delivery... There was one today, the one for Mark Yu was the most impressive one for me, where he had the ball under his feet, under his body, a defender right in front of him, had no space to work in, but still managed to get a cross out while he's falling over on his left foot. And it was a sublime ball. And it's just those little moments of quality are what we need from our older, our more experienced players, which Pedro Neto fits into that category. When you've got a lot of youngsters like Gittins, Esteval, that we're saying, they need to work on their product, their end product, their delivery in the final third. This is what they need to be emulating in training. This is the kind of player they need to be following and they need to be copying. And Pedro Neto, for me, I've said for a while now, he's Chelsea's best option on the wing. I think our best wing options are him and Esteval. I can see why Esteval got the rest today and Garnacho got the nod. Really wasn't impressed with Garnacho today. But I'm not going to dwell on the negatives because I think there are far more positives. That first half, all in all, we could just kind of ignore. We could pretty much write it off. It was a game of two halves. I want to give credit to Enzo Maresca for the substitutes he made in the second half. Look, I think the initial lineup confused a lot of people, but obviously with Enzo Fernandez out, I think the only player I would have started would have been Caicedo. But then there were, concerns over his fitness, his injuries. So I can understand why we went with the team that we did. Bringing Caicedo on at half-time just shows you how important he is. And I think the commentators were saying, which was a great point, it's not just his quality. It's not good. It's not just how good he is individually. It's what he does to the players around him. And anybody that's played football to not even a semi-decent level, anybody that's played football on a Sunday league will know that when you play either with or against better players, it raises your game. It makes you better. And that is exactly what he does to this Chelsea team. He brings the level up. Everybody knows, not just everybody knows, right, Caicedo's coming on, the team has just instantly improved. Everybody knows, right, I need to be on his wavelength. He is on everybody's wavelength. But to get to that, every single player needs to elevate just a little bit. And that's what he brings to the team. He is incredibly important. Obviously, I think it was his first time he didn't start for Chelsea in the Premier League in 60, 65 games today. And you could tell that first half, we were lacking control. We talk about, dominating the ball, creating chances, all of that. It doesn't really matter unless you're going to stick the ball in the back of the net. But in the first half, we didn't have any semblance really of control. I thought it was a fairly even game. We had a couple of chances, yes, but, clear cut. Nothing where I'm looking at that first half and going, we're ruining missed chances. We should be up. Those second half changes come on. Mark Yu, I think, just reiterates the point now to Chelsea. Why haven't we been playing this guy? Why have we been opting, as much as I love Tyreek George, why have we been shoehorning him into a false nine role when we've had Mark Yu, who's got unlimited stamina, unlimited legs, unlimited shithousery. He's willing to chase down any ball, any lost cause. And those are the strikers that can turn games on their head. Strikers that can create something from nothing, just from a little bit of hard work and perseverance. And you saw, like I said, he changed the game completely. But he's not just creating chances for himself and being a focal point. It's what he does for the other players. And I think João Pedro, dropping back in, gave him a lot more impact and gave him a lot more kind of... He became a lot more of a driving force in the second half. I don't think he was poor in the first half by any stretch, but I do think he did look isolated. I think every time he got the ball, it seemed like Chelsea players kind of ran away from him. But whereas with Mark Yu, he's looking to bring other people into play all the time, whether it's the run that he makes for someone to find him or whether it's making a run to pull somebody else out of position just to create a little bit of uncertainty in the defender's mind. Could he go that way? Could he go that way? Should I split? Should I go? I think Mark Hughes' impact today, fantastic. And I really, really want to see more of him because he is a player that, and I said in the earlier live watch along, he's a player I feel sorry for, given that he started life at Sunderland very, very well. It looked like a match made in heaven. Unfortunately, unprecedented circumstances meant that we had to recall him, but we haven't really used him. So it does feel like he's been kind of just sitting on the bench, rotting away. And, a few of me, along with a lot of other Chelsea fans, have been saying, if we were going to bring him back to sit on the bench, surely we might as well have just left him at Sunderland to get game time and get development. But look, Enzo Maresca is clearly a very big fan of him. He used him multiple times last season in the Conference League. And we as Chelsea fans, I think, fell in love with him pretty much instantly. His work rate and hustle off the ball is, I think, his best attribute. And yeah, he definitely also increased the levels along with Caicedo in that second half. But all in all, I think today was always going to be tricky. It was a bump in the road that we just had to overcome. It was one of those results. I'd say today was a good professional performance. I wouldn't say we blew anybody away. I think that the scoreline is probably a little bit flattering. And I think that third goal, obviously icing on the cake for Reece James and the team. But I think the focus today has to be that defence and has to be at Chimpong and Reece James particularly. I think Reece James got player of the match and he will, likely get a lot of the headlines. But Josh Achimpong, to put in consistent performances like he does when he's called upon, he comes in, drops a 10 out of 10, and then we don't hear from him for 2-3 months. There was the whole contract situation last year where no way Onja's been sacked. No way Onja's been sacked. Are you lying? No way. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. I'm about to text my dad. I might call my dad live on stream. And sacked. No way. No way. View from Chelsea. Big up yourself. Give me the news in live in real time. Oh my God. My dad said luck was on our side. Oh my God. 18 minutes after the game, 18 minutes. This is a manager that my dad said he would take at Chelsea. This is a manager my dad rates so highly. Bum! Oh my God. And that press conference he gave earlier this week being like, I'm like Conte and Mourinho. I will win a trophy. Bruv, shut up. There's the door. Get to fuck, you big, bald prick. Oh my God. He's not bald. He's thinning. My bad. Big Aussie prick. Whatever it is. Oh my God. That orange pack is going to be absolutely lovely in about 15 minutes. Look. This is the effect that Chelsea have. Everybody, when we're losing, we're the laughing stock of the league. And it's very easy to pile on as £2 billion spent. How are they disorganized? How's the squad in this bad shape? But then when we beat teams, I mean, you don't hear the positives. It's always about, this team's in crisis. Can't believe they've lost 3-0 to Chelsea. Look, I mean, people need to start putting more respect on our names. But that has put a cherry on my day. Oh my goodness. I've got to check as well what the under 21 score is, because this was supposed to be an under 21s live watch along. However, stingy ass TV providers have not put this game on available for streaming. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought he was gone after, when it was foreshadowing when they showed Marinakis not in his seat in the 50th minute or whenever it was. And then they were mentioning about they've been speaking to managers in the international break. I heard the name Sean Dyche. If Nottingham Forest go from Nuno last season to Sean Dyche, like, the fall off is nuts. We all know, I mean, we said, both Charms and I said in our preseason predictions that Nottingham Forest would fall off this season. We said that they would struggle, particularly with Europe. And I think that is the case. But I mean, when you look at the lineup that they played, I don't know whether it was a statement from Ange not picking, Hudson-Odoi, Igor, Hutchinson. A lot of the big signings, a lot of the big money signings they've made didn't feature today, or definitely not from the start. And I don't know whether that was more of a statement, but this Forest team, they're just very, very poor. I think they were overachieving last season, big overachievers last season, and I think they've got way too ahead of themselves. It's not unexpected for them to sack Ange, but look, I don't think anybody, I don't know. I don't rate him as a manager, his style of play. I don't know if anybody is going to be able to dig them out of this hole immediately. I think it is going to be a long old slog. And you should believe us, because as Chelsea fans, we've had to endure it for the best part of 2.5 years now. But the outlook on Chelsea's season is, prior to the Liverpool game, it was obviously very, very negative. A few losses on the bounce. Oh, the other thing that I want to mention very quickly, I know I said I didn't want to dwell on the negatives. Fucking Malo Gusto, what are you doing? What are you thinking? 86 minutes, you're on a booking, we're 3-0 up. Why are you sliding into that challenge? Why are you making that tackle? Absolutely crazy to me, unnecessary. And it just showed, and you know what, after that as well, Esteval, this pissed me off even more. The Esteval one where he got blown up for the free kick, and then he dribbled the ball and passed it into an empty net for a booking. To waste 30 seconds, even less than that, because he's going to add it on. But you got a booking that could become crucial further down the line. It's just those small things where I'm just like, today could have been so close to not a perfect day, but could have been a day with no complaints. But we've come out of the game, again, down to 10 men. A red card in our last 5 games now, including a manager. Something needs to be done about the discipline in this squad. These players need to I don't even know. They need a strict disciplinarian in that dressing room, just teaching them the do's and don'ts, not the fine line of the law. They need to stop walking that line. They need to just get themselves in the clear, because the discipline is absolutely nuts. At 3-0 up, you should be just playing ticky-tack. You should be getting waves from the crowd. You should not be putting yourself in a situation where you need to lunge into a tackle like that. And you definitely shouldn't be lunging into a tackle like that. That was absolutely crazy from Malo Gusto. But apart from that, yeah, I've got no complaints. Good tweaks from Enzo Maresca at halftime. Obviously, the first half wasn't riveting, fairly poor performance. And I think, if anything, you could say we were lucky to not be, we were lucky to still be on level terms. If anything, I think a draw at halftime was, 0-0 was a fair result. But if anything, you'd say Nottingham Forest had the better chances, should have made better of them. So, look, I think we did very well on the face of it. As I said earlier, good professional performance. Another clean sheet, 3 goals in the bank, 2 points behind Arsenal. I know they've got a game in hand, but 2 points behind Arsenal. We're back in the top 4 conversation. 2 wins on the bounce in the Premier League. And as I always say, that first game after the international break is always so important. It's always a little bit more difficult. I had a bad feeling going into today. I thought Nottingham Forest having 2 weeks to prepare, not having won a game yet, they would have been right up and raring for today. But the fact that we've got through it, and with such a flattering scoreline, I can have 0 complaints from that today. Let me know who your man of the match was. I think I'd have to go for Reece James. I think Josh Achimpong and Pedro Neto, both, as I said earlier, top performers, both very, very close in that top 3, both finished on the podium. But yeah, captain fantastic, Reece James on his 200th game for Chelsea, Premier League game for Chelsea, scoring that 3rd goal. Yeah, what a way to start the weekend, eh? We can now relax and watch the football. On to the under-21s, still 0-0 against Dinamo Zagreb in the Premier League International Cup, but we're going to go and try and follow that now as much as we can. And as soon as we get a chance to watch that, you might get some sort of match report from me tomorrow. But yeah, for now, make sure to go back and watch the live match watch along from this morning of the under-18s. Make sure to follow @2blues podcast on the Instagram. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more great Chelsea content. Until then, up the Chelsea.